Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Manvendra and today I will be showing you how you can set up email to case in Salesforce. So firstly I'll be telling you what this feature is. So what email to case means is, suppose you're working for a company and that company is handling support. So they want to use Salesforce to create cases. So whenever someone sends an email or anything like any request, any ticket on a particular support email address, then what you want is a case will be created in Salesforce. So in Salesforce we have so many features for cases, like there is queues and you can create milestones and deadline processes, and you can manage cases, you can create reports and dashboards, everything. So basically if you're running a big customer support application, Salesforce would be one of the most suitable solutions for you. So there are tons of feature, but this video is only focused on email to case. So to set up email to case, what you can do, so this is my developer edition org. You need to go to setup and search email hyphen to case. So when you type email to case, you need to click on this option. So you will land on this screen, which basically tells you what email to case is, and you just need to click on continue button. And this type of information page you would find on almost all the features, like if you're creating a workflow rule, if you are setting up lead assignment rule, case assignment rules, anything in Salesforce. So when you click on continue, uh, now on this screen you can set up your email to case. Let it load. All right. So I am going to tell you each and every step to set it up. Now on this screen, when you see there is a section called routing addresses. So here you need to create a new routing address. What this means is, like, you are basically setting up a routing setup, that if anyone sends an email to this particular email address, it will be using Salesforce to create a case. So let's see. Click on new button. You can give it any name. For example, I will give how to Salesforce support. And now email address. So this is the email address which you will be using. So I have created a demo email account just for this video, and this email is howtosthor@gmail.com. So I will be using this email address. So now what I'm telling Salesforce is, if anyone sends an email to this email address, it should create a case in Salesforce. And how it will create, what are the further settings, we will be checking it out. Okay, forget about this option for now. Create a task for email. This means as soon as you will create a case, Salesforce will automatically create a task so that you can assign it to a particular user that you need to work on this particular case. Okay, so task status will be not started when it will be created. Now when you come down to case settings, now here you can assign the owners. So in Salesforce, for cases, basically there can be two types of owners. It can be an individual user. For example, you might have very less number of users, or you just want to directly assign it to a particular person. For example, if someone has a very critical service request, and you want a particular skilled guy to handle it, and you don't want any queue to assign this case to, so then you can select a user. Otherwise you can assign a queue. Let me check if I already have some queues. So right now there are no queues. So what I'll do, just for this demo purpose, I'll just create a queue quickly. you need to go to setup, and under users there is an option called queues, and here you need to click on new. So queues are basically, suppose if you have multiple support teams, for example you might have IT services, IT support, financial support, marketing support, sales support, this types of teams you might have, or you might have like multiple application, for example Oracle or SAP support, something like that. Let's give it some label. So right now I'm just keeping queue email as empty, and for case object I'm creating it. Queue members are users, and I'm just assigning all the users for now. Excuse me. So now our queue is ready. Let's check it again. Yeah, so this queue has 3 members. Okay, let's go back to this screen and let's click on search. Now you can see this queue is coming. You need to select it. Now you can also select priority of the case. I'll just select medium for now. By default I'll keep it medium, and case origin I'll put as email because this case is coming from email. Click on save, and the pop-up which you just saw, it says that you have to verify in order to activate this routing address. So now how do we verify it? You need to go to this email address. See, you already have an email address that someone is trying to set up email routing services using this email inbox. Now if I click on this link, it will be verified. There we go. So now this, when I click on continue, the verification process is complete, but we are still not done. Okay, so before you set up email to case, you will have to enable a couple of settings. Um, so you will see there are a couple of checkboxes. Enable email to case, and you also need to enable email HTML email option. And if you want to get notifications for uh, if you want to send notification to the case owners, for example if I'm working in a support team, if any case is being created for my queue where I am assigned as a member, I might want to get notified. So we will put that on. Now this checkbox says that you want to save the attachments sent on the email as Salesforce files. Yes, that's a very good option because Salesforce files is the latest feature to handle all the attachments and files. You need to turn on this option like send email via external services. This means that if you are sending an email from external service provider for email, for example Gmail, Outlook, or anything like Reddit or Yahoo, then you need to turn it on. I'll just leave the signature option off for now. And yeah, so here in this option on demand service, it says that if you want to create case in Salesforce, whenever someone sends an email, you have to enable this option. You can read it here. Select this option. We recommend you using on demand service unless you are using a custom solution to keep email traffic inside your network's firewall. So what you need to do, you need to check this, you need to turn this checkbox on, and here there are two more options. First one is over email rate limit action. So what happens is, suppose if you are sent, like there are too many emails and you are creating too many cases and you reach Salesforce limits, because in Salesforce we have limits for each and every feature. So what action do you want? So there are a couple of options, for example bounce message, discard message, or requeue message. So maybe you want to tell user that your email has been bounced and the case was not created, or discard message or requeue message. So I'll just select bounce message for now. Unauthorized sender action, I will select discard. Okay, now click on save. Now, whenever you are working on email to case, you would have to make sure that your email to case will only work when you have this email service address available. So if you remember in this video, when I was trying to create a case, it was not working. The reason was I had not enabled any of these options, and for that reason the email service address was not created. Now what this means is, if someone sends an email to this email address, howtosthor@gmail.com, you need to forward that email to this email service address, and it will create a case inside Salesforce. So what we are going to do, we need to set up some forwarding rule in our email. So but before that I will just test it again, if if it is creating a case or not. So logically, if I send an email address to this email address, it should create a case. Let's try it out. Now let's refresh our queue. So this is the queue where we are assigning new cases, and we do not have anything, so the case is not being created. So what we need to do is, we need to go to our Gmail and we need to set up an email forwarding setting. For that, let me check how we can set up the forwarding and pop IMAP. Add a forwarding address. Please enter a new forwarding email address. Click on next. Not a valid email address. Okay, I think it had spaces. Maybe this was the reason to reject it. Yeah. So by mistake, I had included some spaces before the email address text. So here you can see it is asking to confirm if you want to set up a forward email address. Click on proceed. So these settings can vary depending on what email provider you are using. For example, in Outlook, obviously it will be different. So guys, why our email to case was not working properly? The reason was we did not confirm our service email address. So whenever you set up a forwarding rule in your email, you will be asked to verify it. Let me show you. So if you go to forwarding settings, you see here it is saying that you need to verify and you need to enter a code. So in your Salesforce, basically wherever your case is being created, one email will come automatically from Gmail team asking you to click on a particular link or with a confirmation code. So I'll just copy this code and I will paste it here and click on verify. So now this is done. You have verified your forwarding email address, yeah, as you can see at the bottom. So guys, the reason why our email to case was not creating the case, because I had not activated the forwarding setting in Gmail. So these settings can depend on your email services, whatever you are using. So once I activated the forwarding email address, you can see this notification is coming on my screen saying that you are forwarding your email to this email address, and this notice will end in 7 days. So it depends on your email service provider. So now I'll just show you how you can test it. For example, if you're sending an email to yourself on this email address, So I'm sending an email to myself and I clicked on send. You can see I have got an email in my inbox already. The reason that we have this copy because I'm keeping a copy of this email in my inbox even after forwarding. These settings I managed in my Gmail. Now let's go back to Salesforce and check if the case has been created or not. Let me refresh it. So this can take a minute or two. Usually it works within like 30 seconds or 40 seconds. But it can take a little bit time depending on the availability of Salesforce resources. Let me check it again. Okay, let us go back to the customer support queue. Yeah, you can see 3:41 is the time here in my system, and this is the case. This is the email which I was creating. You can see the description. It says hope it works, and it's working now. Now you can see the case has been created. This is the case number. If you click on it, you will see all the details, case number, whatever. Origin is email as we had set up in the settings, and subject line says testing email for case for demo, and description is hope it works. Now you will see that it has been assigned to this queue automatically. The reason is because we had enabled the queue assignment when we were setting up the email to case settings. So when you set up email to case, you will get a lot of features. For example, details, you will get email related and everything. So what we will do here is we will try to reply to this email, reply from Salesforce, and we will check if user is getting the email or not. Okay, let me click on reply. You can see the reply button here, and what we will do is that we are working on your request and we'll update you shortly. So this email I am sending to this customer as a service agent from the Salesforce. So if I click on send, you will see you are getting a toast message at the top of the screen that email was sent. And now let's check our inbox if we have an email or not. Yeah, you can see we are getting this email and we are working on your request. Now on the subject, you will see the subject which we had put like testing email to case for demo. There is something extra on this email subject. So this is called a thread ID. So this setting I had enabled to keep track of cases. Whenever you are working with a lot of cases, you might lose track of cases, and just for the uniqueness purpose, just for the tracking purpose, you can keep this thread ID inside the subject line or the email body. You can turn it off if you don't want, but whenever you're dealing with a lot of cases or a lot of emails, you might want to keep it handy. So this was email to case demo, and you can also go through the Salesforce documentation if you have more like if you need more details on email to case. This was the basic settings. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos on to do different things in Salesforce. That's why my channel name is How to Salesforce. So I will be creating more videos, and you will be seeing more videos on more complex topics. For example, I am also working on a series of for Lightning Web Components. So stay tuned and have a nice day.